It's your girl Drea back with another video. If you are new here, welcome. If not, welcome back, y'all. So it is now day 2 of Vlogtober, y'all. I'm Little Red Riding Hood again, as I told y'all I would be. Let me fix my hood. But yes, I'm Little Red Riding Hood again, and I have another story time. So make sure you guys are liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Also, be sure to hit that post notification button so you can be notified every time I upload a video. Guys, remember, I am posting a video every day for the month of October, so you do not want to miss these story times, all right? Because I'm giving y'all all the tea, all right? All the tea on me. But yeah, so as you can tell by the title, and not me taking apart my bow, but as you can tell by the title, I am telling the story about how basically our neighbors call CPS on my mama when we was younger. So here goes the story. Now, if you guys have been watching my story times, you know, my mom, she was a single mom. She worked a lot, very hard worker, but she wasn't able to be around all the time, obviously, because she was working. Cool. So I remember after school, we would like get off the bus, and I had a key because at this point I was in like 8th grade, y'all, and we're all 2 years apart. So I was in 8th grade, and I always had a key to open up the door. So of course my mom would always be like, stay in the house, you know, wait till I get home type thing. You know, I know y'all mamas was doing it too, but that's what my mama did. I had a key. She stay in the house until she get home. Don't be outside playing. Now, of course, we ain't always listen. Sorry, Mom. We ain't always listen. But this particular day, it was nice outside. The house in our neighborhood, it was the littest house on the block. We were like the corner house. We had the biggest yard, and on the other side of the house was we basically had yard all around our house on both sides and in the back. So we had like this big, huge front yard. Like literally the bus stop, the stop sign was in our front yard, and that was our bus stop. So everybody who lives in that neighborhood had to come to that stop sign, and it was just perfect because we just had to walk out and get on the bus. So yeah, like our house was the littest. It was right on the corner, and we had a super huge yard on the other side of the house. The yard was, I guess you could say our house was on a hill, but at the other side, it was really a hill. So in the wintertime, everybody would come over when it was snowing, and we would always go sledding down our hill. Like we had the most littest house. We were like the only house with a swing set in our backyard. Like our house was lit. We had the nice big porch with the sandbox, and we had a little pool on it. Y'all, I'm telling you, my mom, she was doing the darn thing, okay? So, yeah, we always had kids over the house. So it just happened to be like a nice day out, and everybody wanted to be outside, including us, even though we knew we was not allowed to be outside. And y'all, we did this a lot. We would always be outside and kind of just go back in the house before mama got home. So we outside, we playing. Of course, we got all type of like kickballs and bikes and all that. We knew how to open a garage and get all that stuff out. So I remember the one day, and it happened all the time because our driveway, we had a basketball hoop in our driveway, y'all. So we would be always out there playing basketball and this and that or whatever. And sometimes, you know, the ball rolls into the street. I mean, come on now. And it wasn't a really busy street either, which was great. So the ball would roll into the street and into the neighbor's yard. So basically, y'all, just imagine our house is on a hill, but it's at the bottom of the hill. All right, we're the corner house at the bottom of the hill. Across the street, we have a neighbor. Cool. He was actually cool. He would be outside playing with us. So we had a neighbor, but that neighbor had a neighbor next to him. So across the street, I guess you could say a little diagonal, but the way our yard was on the other side, if we were like playing on that hill and say you like roll a ball down it, it would always go into my neighbors across the street's neighbor's yard. All right. Whew. Now, the people who lived there, it was an old lady and an old man. And they hated us. Y'all, let me tell you. They couldn't stand us. I don't want to sit here and say they were like racist or anything. They were white. I don't want to say they were racist or anything, but they were just so mean. And you got to understand where I lived, it's the suburbs, and the suburbs was mainly white. Now, don't get me wrong, there was black people who lived in our city, but we were like one of the only black peoples who lived on, that street. So basically our street, we were black. Up the street, we had a neighbor. They were black. And then a little further down the street, there was another black neighbor. So there was like, no lie, y'all, there was like 3 of us. So we, of course, my mom, she got all these kids and we're always outside playing. We got one of, the nicest house, the nicest yards, but it wasn't a house that we owned. So it was just so crazy because our house and the house up the street, that was our other friend's house that was also black, both of our houses were actually Section 8 houses, all right? Whatever. But, by the grace of God, because God knew where we needed to grow up at, we got placed in those houses out in the suburbs in a nice neighborhood in a nice school district. Beautiful. And I'm not going to lie, but I truly believe that neighbor hated that about us. Hated it. So, sometimes our balls would roll into our yard and we would be so scared. Like as soon as the ball right over there, we'd be like, oh my God, who's about to go get it? Like, y'all, it was like that. Like, who's about to go get it? Because that old man is not about to be coming out here screaming at us. And sometimes the old lady came out screaming too. So he was like, yep, not today. Who's the one who kicked it over there? Oh, you got to be the one to get it. And so, like I said, we would have all the neighborhood kids over. So we would be like, oh, you go get it because, I feel like they like you. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So we'll be so scared to get this ball. Y'all ever see Monster House? I know y'all seen Monster House. It was like that. Like as soon as the ball went over into the Monster's house yard, they would be so scared to get it. And the next thing you know, their toys disappeared. Yo, it was like that. We were so scared to get our ball. Oh my gosh. But anyway, every time we did go to get it, it's like they be watching us through the window. Rosie, the nosy neighbors. But we go to get the ball and they'll be like, y'all need to stop getting in our yard. Y'all need to stop getting y'all toys in our yard. We'll be like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. Like come on now. It happens. We're outside. We're kids. We're playing. Like, it gets in your yard. I understand you don't want us in our yard. So the one day he comes out, he was just like, why do y'all keep coming in our yard? I know. I pay good money for my house. We own our house. Y'all don't own your house. So I understand if y'all don't care about y'all yard and the things that you guys have. We own our house. Y'all don't need to be over here messing up our yard. And I remember 8th grade me being like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, what does you owning your house have to do with anything? And how you know we don't own our house? And this is before I even knew that you could just look it up and find out who owns their house and who doesn't. But I didn't say this to this man. I literally just grabbed the ball and was just like, okay, like you're doing too much. And just kind of like walked away because like, what is you really about to do? What is you really about to do? And it's just so crazy because I remember the one day we got locked out the house, y'all. We got locked out the house. We went to that neighbor's house and we did not want to. We did not want to go to that neighbor's house at all. And we were low-key praying that they was going to be nice to us. I really don't know why. Oh yeah, because the house next to that, me and old man and lady's house, was our friend's house, but they weren't home. The house directly across the street from us, they weren't home. And it was raining, y'all. It was raining. We're like, oh my God, what's the next closest house? Okay, so let's go over there. And we knock on that lady's door, lady and man's door, the old people's door. And it was the lady. Thank God it was the lady because she was nicer than a man. And we were like, can we please use your phone to call our mom because I left my phone at school. Like, I'm just lying because I don't want them to know that we locked ourselves out the house, you know? So I called my mom and I'm like speaking real quiet, like, yeah, just let you know, like we locked ourselves out. And my mom was just like, okay, y'all better go sit y'all asses on the porch. It's like, no, my mom don't cuss. But she was like, okay, well, y'all need to go sit on the porch. And then we were just like, okay. So go sit on the porch. I can't even fully remember that day, but I just remember that encounter. Like, the lady was nice. So I feel like it was mainly her husband doing that. And then she probably just got fed up with her husband yelling at us, that she started yelling at us too. But whatever, I thought y'all was nice. But yeah, so we had issues with that neighbor, y'all. We also had issues with this other neighbor, and I don't know if she necessarily had an issue with all of us, but she definitely had an issue with my mom and my little brother. So my brother had this friend who also lived on our block, but he was the third black person who lived, you know, up the street some. So it was like their dad, but his mom was like Vietnamese. Dad was black, and then their son was my brother's age. But you're getting categorized as black, okay? So him and my brother were friends, you know what I'm saying? And my mom, like I said, she was a single mother, and she had 3 girls and then my little brother. So my brother's friend's dad, you know, my mom and him got, you know, real cool or whatever. So she would allow my little brother to go over there. So when my little brother was over there, they would be playing outside and all this other stuff. But, you know, she would always cause issues with my brother being over because y'all, I'm just going to be honest, she was a little mental in the head. She was kind of crazy. She would always think that her husband had something going on with my mom or something. I don't know. She was just like crazy, y'all. She was saying stuff about my brother, saying he would like vandalize people's houses and yards and steal from people. Like, how was my brother doing that? Like, he was like, y'all, he was like 4 years old. He was like 4 or 5 years old. How was he doing that? Like, somebody please explain. Like, it was so crazy. But he might have been younger. Because I'm 6 years older than my brother, yo. And if I was, what, like 13 or 14, I can't do math. Okay, yeah, he was like 6. I was like, when we lived at the house, I was still 13. So 13 minus 6 is what, 5? Yeah, he was like 5. Yeah.
Wrong, bitch. He was 7.
Yeah, she's insane. Plus, my mom had us like, y'all, we was never them type of kids that stole and stuff. So, well, never mind. They wasn't. I was, but that was on some teenage stuff, being a follower once again. But anyway, yeah, my brother, he is the most sweetest, kindest soul you'll ever meet in your life. So she just had issues. Like, she was just mental. But anyway, she just didn't like us. And yeah, just these neighbors were just weird. Like I said, I don't want to put the R word on them, but it's kind of hard not to sometimes, knowing that like we were like the only black people who lived there in that neighborhood, you know? So whatever. One day, you know, well, even before I say that, days and days go by. We're playing outside. We're not really listening to my mom talking about being in the house. We're playing outside, going back in the house. I guess we're causing more drama because we keep accidentally kicking the ball in the yard, in the neighbor's yard and stuff like that. And we're just playing around. Honestly, we're really good kids. We were extremely good kids. My mom, she raised us right. Like, she really did. So, excuse me, when people had a problem with us, it was very shocking. I'm not going to lie, because we were very good kids. But one day, we're at home. I remember my mom, like I said, she was never home, and people will always know when she was home because we had a minivan. So the minivan would be in the driveway, which is how all of our neighbors would know our mother was home. And when the minivan wasn't in the driveway, obviously she wasn't home. So one day, I remember it was like 9 o'clock at night, and it was like the police and CPS was knocking on our door. Because I remember, I was just like, who was knocking on our door? It's late, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it was like a random weekday. It was late. For whatever reason, my mom's car was in the shop. It was broke down. It wasn't in the driveway. It was not in the driveway. And we ended up getting a knock on our door. It was the police. It was CPS. And my mom was just like, who is it? Hello? And they were like, it's the police. So, of course, she opened the door and she's like, what's this about? And they was just like, we got a call saying that your kids are home alone and you leave them home alone often and this and that. And my mom was just like, excuse me? They was like, yeah, they said you didn't have your car was in the driveway, meaning you weren't home. And, you know, we just had to come in and make sure that there was an adult here with your kids. So no, I could tell my mom is pissed because she put that look on her face and was looking at them cops and was just like, well, as you can see, officer, I'm right here at home with my children and my car isn't outside. So just because my car is not outside does not mean nobody is home with my children. And then the officer was just like, oh, yep, I see that. I do see that, ma'am. I apologize. And left it at that. They couldn't tell us who called. We know it was a neighbor. They couldn't tell us who called. None of that. So, and honestly, y'all, is that right? Like, because I really don't know if that's true or not, if they were allowed or not allowed, but they didn't tell my mom who called. So now my mom is pissed. You know, the cops end up leaving. She's talking to us like, have y'all been playing outside? I told you to go straight into the house. And of course we busted for real because we is not supposed to be outside playing. Like, y'all, she's not playing no games. Like, mommy is not playing around. So, y'all, we was scared. But yeah, she was pissed. You know how moms do that. She start calling everybody in the family, like telling them what happened. Like, yeah, they just came to the house talking about ain't nobody here and CPS and this and that. So yeah, of course, my mom is thinking it was my brother's friend's mother, the Vietnamese woman, because I'm telling you, she had it out for my mom. I'm telling you, she did. So I felt like she was trying to get all of us taken and get out the neighborhood. I don't know what it was, but I felt like she was trying hard. My mom thought that. I thought it was the old couple across the street because they just wanted us out. And I told my mom, I was like, yeah, because you know they said that we don't own our house. And my mom was like, who said that? I was like, the old people across the street said we don't own our house and we don't care about our house because we don't own our house, and that's why we didn't stay out their yard. And my mom was just like, see, no, like she was not having it. Like she was not with it. So it was just like, honestly, who knows who called CPS on this, but once again, God always having that umbrella over us. My mom just so happened to be there that night when they called. Like, yo, it's just so crazy. It's just so crazy. Like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I don't know. And like I said, my mom she was a wonderful mom. She just didn't always have people to watch us. She just didn't. So after that, my mom was like, yeah, I don't trust y'all. She was like, I don't trust y'all. I need to get a sitter to sit with y'all after school. So, like, remember I told you the other black family who live up the street, they had an older sister. And she would come down after we got out of school, and she would just sit with us. And she got paid hella money, y'all. She did. She got paid a lot of money. And all she would do was sleep on that couch. And I was not mad at her because all we needed was a body. And she would just be knocked out. I remember we used to have hella dishes. She would wash the dishes and then go to sleep. We loved her. Man, she was the best. And, you know, her little sisters would be, or not sisters, her little siblings, because she was actually the only girl. And their mom had 3 boys. And my mom was the opposite. But she just happened to be the oldest. And our boy was the youngest. So, yeah, she would babysit us. And her little brothers would be playing with us and coming in and out of the house. So, we loved it. We loved it. We're like, oh, thank God. But soon after that, my granddad started watching us. And I was like, ugh. Not but I love you, granddad. But you know, it's like you're more strict. You know what I'm saying? That's all. You're just more strict. So, yeah. We loved her. But anyway, we didn't have any more problems with CPS after that. And I still can't believe these neighbors. Like, they do not be liking it. Because I'm telling you, we was good. We were really good kids. Like, yeah, we're going to be outside. We're going to be loud. We're playing. We're innocent. We're trying to be children and live our lives. And guess what? If the basketball rolls into your yard a couple times, it just rolls into the yard a couple times. I mean, goddamn. Is it that serious? So what if we don't own our house? What does that even mean? It doesn't mean we don't care about our house. Our house was very well kept. My mom did beautiful yard work, y'all. Beautiful. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know how she did it. She was literally superwoman. So y'all trying to get her taken from us is wild as hell. It's wild. But anyway, y'all, that's pretty much it for this story time. Make sure y'all like, comment, share, and subscribe. Subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow in day 3. Bye.